The U.S. House of Representatives just introduced a bill that's going to eliminate several federal financial aid programs for university students. The House is expected to vote on the bill within the next couple of months. And if it goes through, many students who depend on financial aid for their higher education are going to lose that money. Joining me is Molly Barrows to talk about this problem. She's legal journalist for Trial Lawyer Magazine. And the legal angle on this is pretty obvious. Not only do we have a situation where students that have loans, they already are in a situation, if they can't make payments, they find themselves in a tough situation and have to declare bankruptcy. They can't even get protection in bankruptcy court. They can't escape the problem as it is.
You're exactly right. And so here we are with the House in the process of trying to overhaul the Higher Education Act. And among the proposals that they're making are eliminating the student public service loan forgiveness. So if you graduate, you pay on your loan for 10 years in good faith, you're making good progress, you get a job with a government agency or a nonprofit, then you get your loans forgiven. So it's essentially equivalent of forgiving their debt. Well, they want to eliminate that. They also want to make changes to other programs that would put less restrictions on for-profit colleges and institutions and more accountability measures, go figure, on non-for-profit. So the ones that utilize a lot of these grants are going to see things like, for instance, if you receive $600 million in annual grants for a minority-serving institution, you got to show that 25% of your kids are going to graduate or transfer. So
and let me get
pressure
this right.
on them.
Yeah, let me get this right. So we just gave the military $200 billion. We gave the military $200 billion. They didn't even want $200 billion, but we gave them $200 billion.
Because we're pushing defense.
Exactly. We just did a tax cut, which took away from the process of available money over $1 trillion. Now we're talking about infrastructure of another $1.2 trillion. We know who loses here and who wins. The banks win in a big way here, don't they, Molly?
Absolutely. And the for-profit colleges are going to win as well, because they're going to have, it's going to make it even easier for other institutions that also want to offer for-profit, degrees, if you will. But there'd been some accountability before. You couldn't necessarily apply for some of these student loan programs if you were a for-profit college without, jumping through certain hoops. And now they want to tighten those loopholes, or actually I should say loosen those loopholes, so that they don't have those restrictions anymore.
I mean, this is the legal take on it, though. I mean, when this is legal programming. The legal take is you used to be able to find some protection for a student who's buried in bills, doesn't have a job, is being hunted down by the lending agency. You had some things you could do. You had the threat of bankruptcy. That's gone.
Yes.
You had the ability to say, look, if you don't negotiate with us, mediate it, whatever, we're going to declare bankruptcy and you're going to lose all of it. That's gone, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, it's absolutely. And it was already difficult enough for students to declare bankruptcy, because they were basically, you couldn't discharge a student loan unless you could prove extenuating circumstances and under certain requirements like extenuating circumstances and at least showing a good faith effort to pay. It was already difficult to do that. And most of the time student loans were not forgiven in bankruptcy.
So let me guess who's pushing this right now. The banking industry loves it, of course. The private colleges and institutions love it. The universities are fighting for their lives. Is that right?
Absolutely. And those are the advocacy groups that support those folks that want more access to higher education and affordable higher education, as well as rules in place that ensure that when a kid does go to school to get a degree, that it's going to be in a job that they can get gainful employment. They're also trying to make adjustments to that rule as well.
Well, the ugly thing about this isn't Republican or Democrat. This is being pushed by both sides.
It's actually predominantly being pushed by Republicans in the House. Now, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos is also supporting this, unfortunately, and the White House is supporting this as well. The saving grace is that in the Senate, well, I say the saving grace for those who don't want to see these changes made to the extent that they're being proposed through the House
is the Senate,
because they haven't started work on their overhaul yet.
Let's hope. Molly, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Pat.